Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and completely debunk the myth that weight loss is simply a matter of willpower. Seriously, if you've been doing everything right, but you still feel totally stuck, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're tearing down all that surface level advice to uncover the hidden saboteurs of weight loss. We are going to look at the powerful, often totally invisible forces, both psychological and physiological, that literally hijack our best intentions. We all know the bathroom scale can be incredibly frustrating, right? It's so easy to wish we could just pop a helium pill and literally float away from those numbers. But, well, rather than banking on helium, today we're uncovering the stealthy factors actually holding you back. It is time to stop blaming yourself and start understanding the deep-rooted triggers that are quietly working behind the scenes. So here is our agenda for today. We'll be covering uncovering weight loss barriers, emotional versus physical hunger, identifying your eating triggers, how sleep impacts weight, medications that hinder progress, and finally, how to break the cycle. All right, section 1, uncovering weight loss barriers. Let's start by looking at why our own minds and bodies can sometimes feel like they're actively working against our goals. Take a quick second to self-reflect here. Do you ever find yourself reaching for food when you're stressed, feeling powerless, or maybe just needing a reward? Do you eat when you aren't actually hungry or just keep eating long after you're totally full? The source material we're looking at points out that so many of us use food to make ourselves feel better, to soothe anger, sadness, or anxiety. If you ever feel powerless or out of control around food, you might be dealing with emotional eating. And honestly, the very first step to conquering it is simply recognizing it. Moving right along to section 2, emotional versus physical hunger. Now think about the stark contrast between these two. Notice how physical hunger builds gradually. When your body genuinely needs fuel, almost anything sounds good, even a plate of broccoli, and you just stop when you're full, zero guilt attached. Emotional hunger, on the other hand, it hits you instantly. It feels overwhelming, urgent. It demands very specific junk food, like a sudden, totally undeniable need for a slice of pizza or cheesecake. And the worst part, it isn't satisfied by a full stomach, and it almost always leaves you feeling regret or shame. So the crucial point here is summed up perfectly by this thought. Emotional hunger can't be filled with food. Sure, eating might feel really good in the moment, like a temporary numbing agent. But once that food is gone, those original uncomfortable feelings, they're still right there. Actually, you often feel even worse because now you've added guilt and physical discomfort into the mix. You beat yourself up for slipping up, which just restarts that whole cycle of negative emotions. Section 3, identifying your specific eating triggers. To stop this vicious cycle, we first need to pinpoint the exact situations, places, or feelings that make you reach for comfort food in the first place. These are the usual suspects. Chronic stress is a massive trigger because, guys, it's not just in your head, it is purely biological. Stress spikes your cortisol, which is a hormone that literally physically drives your body to crave salty, sweet, and fried foods for quick bursts of energy. Then there's stuffing emotions, where we use food to essentially numb fear, anger, or loneliness. We've also got boredom, childhood habits where food was treated as a reward, and social influences where it's just so much easier to overindulge because everybody else around you is doing the exact same thing. So, how do you figure out which of those triggers is yours? Simple, by keeping a food and mood diary. Every single time you feel compelled to reach for that comfort food, jot down what you ate, what happened right before to upset you, how you felt before eating, and how you felt after. By logging these little emotional snapshots, you are going to start seeing some very clear patterns emerge. You might realize you always stress eat after a phone call with a certain relative, or when you're staring down a tight deadline at work. Trust me, awareness is your absolute greatest weapon here. Next up, section 4, how sleep impacts weight. Because it's not just your mind working against you. Your lifestyle might be actively altering your biology, starting with how much you sleep. The science here, it's clinical and it is crystal clear. According to the research, skipping even a single night of adequate sleep, and by that we mean getting less than 7 hours, creates an incredibly unfavorable hormonal balance. This isn't just about feeling a bit groggy. This lack of sleep directly increases your hunger, triggers fat deposition right into your organs, causes insulin resistance, and drives intense cravings for high-calorie foods. Your body is desperately seeking energy just to stay awake, and it translates that need into an undeniable urge for sugar and carbs. Part 5, medications that might be hindering your progress. Now, this is an external factor that is so often overlooked, the actual scripts you might be taking for other health conditions. Certain psychotropic medications can act as hidden chemical barriers to your progress. We are talking about specific SSRIs like paracetamol and mirtazapine, tricyclic antidepressants, atypical antipsychotics like olanzapine and clozapine, and lithium. If you are taking any of these and struggling with your weight, it is absolutely critical to understand that this medication might be playing a huge role. It is not a lack of willpower, it's pharmacology. Always talk to your doctor before making any changes, but having this knowledge in your back pocket is highly empowering. Finally, Section 6, How to Break the Cycle. We've uncovered the psychological saboteurs, the sleep deficits, and the chemical barriers. So let's wrap all this complex psychology up into a real, actionable path forward. When that craving hits, your brain is screaming that it needs to be fed right now. But remember, the forbidden is always extremely tempting. So don't tell yourself you can't have the food. Instead, practice the power of the pause. And we just 5 minutes. Seriously, even if you start with 1 minute. Ask yourself, can I just put this off for 5 minutes? Following these concrete steps helps you transition from mindless eating to mindful awareness. Number 1, take that 5-minute pause. 2, check in with your emotions while you wait it out. 3, choose a non-food alternative to fulfill yourself emotionally. If you're anxious, go take a brisk walk or dance it out. If you're exhausted, take a hot bath. 4, if you do end up eating, practice mindful eating. Put your fork down between bites, take a breath, and truly savor your food slowly. And number 5, protect your biology by prioritizing 8 hours of sleep every single night. Ultimately, true weight management isn't just about what's on your plate. It means learning that uncomfortable emotions, fear, sadness, anger, are temporary. They literally do not have the power to control your actions unless you let them. When you stop suppressing your emotions with food, you'll actually find that even the most painful feelings subside relatively quickly. You just have to learn to sit with the discomfort. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to challenge you to look beyond the refrigerator. The next time a sudden, urgent craving hits you out of nowhere, stop and ask yourself, what true emotional fulfillment are you actually craving? Is it connection? Is it rest? Or maybe peace of mind? Feed that hunger first, and you might just find that the scale finally starts taking care of itself.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to motivate us.